All right. Just got an update on the count. We're at 409 citizens registered. That's really good for so far in the day. I know that, Brian, you're there. We haven't even started the meeting yet, so let Audrey get up here and call it to order, and then we'll go. He wants to talk. Go ahead, Brian.
Thank you, Aaron. Bonjour. My name is Brian Hamlin, Southern Free Métis Territory. I rise on a point of personal privilege. This morning, Local 87 and Zone 3 lost a valued member, as Audrey pointed out, a long-time supporter of this organization, the assemblies. We would always see her here. Yesterday, Phyllis Prue, aged 82, wife of Marcel, mother of Marcel Prue, passed away peacefully in her sleep. We wish her a good journey.
Thank you very much for doing that, Brian. Okay, so I have the official job of calling the meeting to order at 9:50 a.m. I believe we have a recording secretary here somewhere. I'm looking, there she is. Where are you going to be? Right there? Oh, you're going to be up there? You need to get up there. Okay, let's just take 1 minute because we do need to, they pushed the tables out of the way, so we just need to get that back in order. Our RCMP officers out there, they're always here to support us when we need them. Thank you guys very, very much. Thank you. And I want to take a special time to say thank you to the veterans. Our veterans are always there. Doesn't matter what we ask of them, they're there to support us. And it's just amazing. They always come out looking so sharp and ready to go. So thank you, veterans. Thank you very, very much. Okay, it looks like she's all set there. Okay, so again, I'll change and I'll call the meeting to order because she does need to record it at 9:52. And I have one job to do right now, and that is to have the election of the chair and the vice chair. So at this time, I would like to call for nominations for the chair. Number 3, go ahead.
Brian Hamlin, Southern Free Métis Territory. I move we elect the chair and co-chair with one vote, with the highest number going to the chair and the second highest number going to the co-chair. And if we have more than 3 nominees, we go to a secret ballot.
Brian,
If I have a seconder, I'll give the rationale.
Brian, I want to say that I can't accept that motion. That motion was put on the floor for probably the last 3 or 4 years and got defeated every time. And we just wasted a whole bunch of time doing that. We have a process that we've used for years and years and years of electing a chair and electing a vice chair. So I would like to open nominations for the chair.
Madam President, 1 year we did pass this motion and it worked quite successfully. I've been here almost 30 years and we've been to some of these meetings where we take 3 hours doing show of hands, muddled counts, undemocratic choosing of our chairperson who has no inkling of Rogers' Rules of Order. This will simplify the matter if we only have 2 nominees.
So Brian, in order to not take all that time to go through all that stuff, I'd like to suggest that we just move on with nominations for chair, as we always have done.
This is
I
an
open the
assembly, there's a
nomination.
motion on the floor, and if the motion is seconded, it belongs to the floor.
It's, okay, let's go then. Brian has moved. Brian, can you say your motion again? Needs to be recorded.
I move that we elect the chair and co-chair position using the highest number of votes for the chair and the second highest for the co-chair. If there is more than 3 nominees, then we have a secret ballot.
Okay, do we have a seconder?
Yeah, Marcel Peru, Region 3, member at large. I'll second that motion.
Okay, my rationale is we have wasted hours sitting here. If we get more than 2 nominees, people are voting twice. The democracy just goes right out the window. We've all seen it. If we have 2, this will take 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else to speak to the motion? Number 1,
Andrea Steinmeier, Region 2. I'd like to nominate Bruce Gladue for chair, please.
we have a motion on the floor now. So we need to deal with that motion that's on the floor. I just wanted, though, speak to that motion so everyone is aware. The motion that was just read into totally goes against our bylaws, that if we have more than 3 people, we automatically go to a secret ballot. If we're going to do things as we should, according to the bylaws, then I think we know that the only way you go to a secret ballot is to have a show of hands first. And then there is a requirement in the bylaws of how you call a secret ballot. So I guess I'll leave it up to the assembly to determine whether we want to go forward. I know we have a couple people at the mics to speak, so go ahead, number 2.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I can't read backwards, but
Oh, sorry.
I'm Louis Belrose from the Peace River country. I agree with the cumbersome way of electing, and I agree with that gentleman that it would hinder the process if we carry on with secret ballot and all that. And I agree that we should go for the show of hands. And I'll second that motion for Bruce, if I can.
Okay, we have one more. Louis, I can't accept that right now because we do have another motion on the floor. So just hang on, okay? Number 4.
No, I was going to second the motion for Bruce.
Oh, okay, okay.
If we have to deal with that other
So
stuff,
I'm going
let's
to
do
just
it.
make it very clear that I think I heard question. We can go to that vote, but I want everyone to be very, very aware. And it's probably because we know what's happening in our nation right now today. Every time we do something, even if it's approved by the citizens, we get called to judiciary, we get called to court. I'm just saying, I'm telling you very, very clear. Our bylaws are what we operate by. And we do have. Go ahead. Oh, we have some, 2, go ahead.
Just a point of order, Madam Chair. If the motion goes against our laws and whatnot, and you declared a motion unacceptable to go to the floor, why can't we just live with that?
Well, thank you very much for that. I will do that because I do declare it is against our bylaws. And let's just go forward. We have a mover for chair. We have a nomination for chair. Can you just come back up and say your name for the record? And we have a seconder. Louis, can you come back up and state your, go ahead, one.
Andrea Sandmeyer, Region 2. I nominate Bruce Gladue for chair.
Okay, number 2.
Can I second the motion for Bruce Gladue? I will, if I can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We have a mover and a seconder. Do we have any discussion?
Point of order.
Do we have any discussion?
Point of order.
Go ahead.
Madam President, we did pass this exact same motion at an assembly roughly 10, 12 years ago. It was totally ignored. I'm not asking to subvert the bylaws here. Firstly, a show of hands, and that means you count the hands that you see. We don't take 10 minutes to go up and down the tables getting a number. It's only then when you can't decide that which side has won that we go to counting, actual counting. Secret ballot takes 5 people requesting it. And as far as you throwing that motion out, I certainly hope you know your Rogers Rules of Order because I challenged the chair on your ruling to dismiss that motion.
Okay, thank you.
Audrey?
We have a motion on the floor. We have a nomination for Bruce Gladue. Moved in second. Do we have any other nominations for chair?
Yeah.
Do we have any other nominations for chair?
Audrey, can I just ask which section you're referring to? It might clarify for people.
Who's speaking?
I am
can't
Brenda
see.
Burke
Where are
Stratichek,
you?
Region
I'm
1.
trying to look. Okay, for number 4, okay.
Maybe it would help the meeting if you told us which section of the bylaws it contravenes, and if some bylaws could be, spread out throughout the meeting so people can have some reference.
Yes, I believe there's bylaws here. This is my Bible. I always carry it with me. Annual meeting. So if you look at, I guess it's page 27 in the bylaws, 25.5, says every question or resolution shall be decided as follows. A, firstly, by a show of hands. Or secondly, by a secret ballot vote if a secret ballot is demanded by 5 lifetime members within 3 minutes of the announcement by the chairperson of the results of the vote of the show of hands. The chairperson has the authority to decide the procedure of the secret ballot vote. That's the article I was referring to. So now can we get back to any more nominations for chair?
Point of order.
Any more nominations for chair?
Madam President, you have a challenge to the chair before you according to Rogers Rules of Order. Excuse yourself and let your MC, anybody else, put the question to the floor whether they sustain your decision or whether they agree with me and the motion proceeds to the floor. The people would decide, not a select individual few who sit up at the microphones and tell us what we're going to do.
Brian, I want to just say very clearly, I'm not sitting here telling anybody what to do. I am saying these are our bylaws. These are the articles that we live by. And that's what it says, so that's all I'm saying. But you know what? That's fine. We have a challenge to the chair. I will remove myself, and this assembly will decide how we move forward. Thank you.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a challenge to the chair put forward. I believe the process is that I'm going to need a show of hands. So if you're going to raise your hand, that means you support removing our president as the chair to open the meeting and get actual chair people in place for the meeting. But before we do that, we'll go to mic 1.
Okay, so first off, the challenge was simply on whether that motion was acceptable or not. It wasn't a challenge to whether you, Audrey, remained as a chair. You remain the chair till we get a chair. That's what we're really after. So in the meantime, there was 2 pieces happening on the floor. Mr. Hamlin had presented a motion that was, you'd said you weren't going to accept. And so I think he was saying, I challenge that decision. It's not challenge the chair, if I'm correct, Mr. Hamlin, but that's what the real issue is. So I'm not so inclined to see you step down from managing this piece till it's completed, just so you know that. So on that motion, I'm going to leave that to the floor, the Assembly to consider. So I just want to make note on that piece.
All right, mic 3. I mean, you know, if you know Robert's Rules of Order, you only get to talk twice on one issue a day, and I think we're at that level now.
Thank you,
Brian,
yes.
so
The
make it
chairman ruled that the motion was not in order. And all I did was challenge the chair on that motion. I'm not asking that we subvert the bylaws. Sure, we can do it by hand. But then just be aware that if 5 people stand up, we'll be going to secret ballot. So I'm trying to make this as quick as we can. We've seen it last 3 hours here some years. So sustain the chair or not, it's up to us now. Thank you.
All right, so what we're going to do is there was a challenge to the chair, a challenge to that motion. I'm just going to say, if you support that motion and that challenge to the motion, meaning Audrey will most likely not be chairing the meeting at that point, and we'll be going to a secret ballot, I'm going to ask that you raise your hand. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you support the challenge to the chair, please raise your hand. All right. Those of you that do not support the challenge, please raise your hand. Okay, we do not need counters. That motion to challenge the chair fails, and we will proceed with President Patra chairing the meeting.
Thank you very much. Okay, we will start again. I am open it for nominations for the chair. Number 1.
Andrea Sandmeyer, Region 2, I nominate Bruce Gladue for chair.
Thank you, Andrea. Do we have a seconder?
James Henry, Region 4, I second that.
Thank you, James. Any more nominations for chair? Any more nominations for chair? Any more nominations for chair? Number 4, go ahead.
Ray St. Denis from Region 3. I move nominations cease.
We have a motion to cease nominations. Ray, can we have a seconder? Do we have a seconder to cease nominations? Number 4?
I was going to nominate someone.
Oh. Okay, we don't have a seconder yet, so we will open it up.
I nominate Brian Fayant.
Okay, we have, you just need to state your name for the record.
Oh, sorry, Valerie Quintel.
Thank you, Valerie. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second that motion to nominate Brian Fayant for chair.
Who's? Your
Adam
name?
Browning.
Thank you very much, Adam. Any more nominations for chair?
Yes. Number 2.
Number 2, go ahead.
I nominate Mr. Jeff Shalafu for chair.
Okay, we have a nomination for Jeff Shalafu. Do we have a seconder?
Brian Hamlin, I second Jeff Shalafu.
Thank you, Brian. Okay. Any more nominations for chair? Any more nominations for chair? Any more nominations for chair? Number 3, go ahead.
Karen Collins. I move nomination cease.
Okay, we have a motion to cease nominations. Do we have a seconder?
Dan Cardinal. I second that motion.
Dan, thank you very much. Okay, all in favor of ceasing nominations? Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Bruce Gladue, wherever you are, I can't see you, but wherever you are, do you accept the nomination? Bruce, thank you. Actually, you probably should just come and record it into the mic, please.
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Bruce. Brian Fayant, do you accept the nomination?
I want,
Go ahead.
I want to say no. I want to work the floor. I like working on the floor. So thanks anyway, though.
Thank you, Brian. Jeff Shalafu, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank my nominator and my seconder, but I respectfully decline. I really want to participate in the debate.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we do have a chair. Bruce Gladue, you can come and take your seat. And now we will open nominations for a vice chair. Number 1.
Marilyn Lise, Region 6. I nominate Brian Fayant for vice chair.
Okay, we have a nomination for Brian Fayant. Do we have a seconder?
Carrie Goldsmith, Region 2. I second.
Okay, we have a seconder. Thank you, Carrie. Any more nominations for vice chair? Number 3.
Kendrick Cardinal, Fortune Métis, I nominate Bill Ludet. Thanks.
Thank you very much. We have Bill Ludet nominated for vice chair. Do we have a seconder? A seconder for Bill Ludet for vice chair.
I'll second the motion for Bill Ludet.
Well,
Velma Quintel Nocoho.
okay, thank you. We have a mover and a seconder for Bill. Any more nominations? Any more nominations for vice chair? Any more nominations for vice chair? Okay, can we have a motion to cease nominations? Number 2.
Sylvia Johnson, I cease nominations, please.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. Do we have a seconder?
Laura Lee Lance, Region 3. I second that motion.
Thank you very much, Laura Lee. Okay, all in favor of ceasing nominations for vice chair? Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. So we have Brian Fayant. Do you accept Vice Chair?
All right. I accept.
Well, thank you, Brian. Okay. Bill Ludit. Where are you, Bill? Do you accept the nomination for Vice Chair? He's got a long walk.
I would just like to thank the nominators for me, but I'm going to decline.
Thank you very much, Bill. So we have a Vice Chair, Brian Fant. Thank you very much. I have completed what I need to do. Let's just take maybe 5 or 10 minute break and let the Chair and Vice Chair get their stuff together to start the meeting. Thank you.